I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero named Prideline's new executive director. Queer News Tonight is breaking news that Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero is the new executive director over at Pridelines. Harold steps into this role at a critical moment. Pridelines faced a challenging couple of years, and many in our community see his leadership as a potential game changer, bringing stability, vision, and renewed trust to one of South Florida's most vital LGBTQ organizations. Harold is no stranger to Queer News Tonight. He previously served as Safe Schools Chief Operating Officer, where he participated in the Safe Schools Rainbow Roundtable right here on our show, advocating for safer, more inclusive spaces for queer youth. Community support for Pridelines remains strong. Hotspots Happening Out is once again showing up as a proud supporter of Pridelines during the Florida AIDS Walk. Pridelines, is not just a building. It's a place of hope for so many people, and this is honestly leadership under pressure. Pridelines, doesn't it needs vision, it needs accountability and trust rebuilt in real time. And that's not easy. Pridelines has been around for 40 something years. And in the last couple of years, they had a lot of problems. They had a lot of issues. They had to replace the executive director twice. There was someone who was put in place that was from Compass, who I super respect. And I'm not going to blow up her spot by saying her name. If you know it, you know it. And she was put in that spot, and I really thought that she'd be able to turn it around. And she mentioned in passing that she was held down and was not allowed to make decisions that she wanted to make to better the organization, right? Fast forward, now we have Harold here in this space. I hope, and it seems that it's not the same way playing out. It's not the same thing playing out again. I interviewed him for my show. If you want to watch it on tomorrow's Faye What show, it'll be on there bright and early at 9 a.m., where he really goes into why he said yes and what he's planning to do to change what people think about Pridelines. I told him straight out, people got a bad taste in their mouth over Pridelines, and and that's difficult. Our community really tries to lift when we're present, and also squishes you like a bug without knowing all the facts at a first moment. I asked him if there were any charges pending. I asked him all the questions that all of you out there probably want to know the answers to. So if you want to know the answers to that, please watch tomorrow's show. But at the end of the day, they're a lifeline to so many queer kids. My daughter is a millennial, and she's got friends that would go to a lot of the events that were fellowship events for younger people that were LGBTQ, and all those services just disappeared once what happened to them. So, I don't want to say that I'm weary, because I think that Harold is an exceptional person, and it's probably going to be said across the board, if anybody can do it, he can. So instead of kind of questioning, I just want to send good vibes his way and hope that it works out, and whatever they need in support, try to be there to help in whatever capacity I can.
For sure. He does bring a lot of experience, especially being part of Safe Schools.
Yeah.
And, having that engagement and seeing the youth firsthand. It was pretty sad when those safe spaces were taken away from our youth.
Yeah.
I've said it time and time again, we're at this table, it's built, we built it, but we need to make sure that it's still here for the next generation, our successors, and the youth are that. And Pridelines programming provides that for them. So as we get a new executive director in that role, I personally encourage our community to really evaluate how much support and where it's going. And to make sure that if the youth are an important, group of our community that they need to show up for Pridelines.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they're the most important part of our community, because they can't vote.
Right.
Robert, what do you think?
What I think is that, like in every organization, finding good board members makes a huge difference in how an organization is perceived in the community. It is difficult, no offense to anybody here, to get really good, committed board members who understand all the roles that a board member needs to play. And I think that many organizations in South Florida have good staff, but they're not always as well supported as they need to be by the board. And that then becomes the engine of the organization. So whether it was a staffing issue at Pridelines or at many of these other organizations, I don't know. But needless to say, the board didn't step up and take the responsibility that it needed to do. And so if you do care about children, if you do care about history, if you do care about commerce, if you care about the arts, then you have to be willing as a community member to step up and go beyond, because at this particular time in history, we have nothing else but ourselves. We don't have the luxury that NSU has. We don't have the luxury of Harvard. We don't have the luxury of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Yeah. We have to stand on our own 2 feet, and we have to be the support that helps us do that. And that comes from a community that is willing to take responsibility, and that means board leadership, committee responsibilities, and things like that. And if you want a strong Pridelines, it's not only about giving money, it's about giving time, it's about providing leadership, it's about being supportive of the new ED.
100%. Thank you, Robert. So there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.